I do recognize how valuable failure is. And I put failure in air quotes. I know you can't see me, but I did it because really nothing is a failure, because there's a lesson to pull from every single situation, from every circumstance, for everything that you attempt. There is a lesson to be learned. You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt-out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt-out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, and welcome back to the Beyond the Classroom podcast. As always, I am so happy you're here, and I hope wherever you find yourself today that you're well and healthy and happy and enjoying your day. Today, we are going to chat about worrying. Now, if you are anything like me, you worry, and I worry a lot, and worrying really sucks, right? I worry about anything and everything, even things that haven't happened or things that most likely probably will never happen. And my oldest son is the same way. He worries a lot, and I've been trying to figure out how to talk him through this so it's not impacting him. And I've also talked to lots of clients too about worrying. We worry about whether or not we're making the right decisions, worrying about what other people think, worrying if we're going to let anybody down. So in today's episode, this is what I came up with to try and minimize the worry and increase the courage. And I think this is important because worry takes up mental space and it takes energy. Worrying takes up space in your brain and it takes up your precious energy. And I know so many teachers worry too. I've talked to a lot of teachers, and we talk about how they worry if they're doing enough for their students, worry if they're making the right decision when they decide to leave the classroom, worrying if staying in the classroom is the right decision, and worry even what the next school day is going to look like. There's just so many things that we can worry about, right? So today we're going to talk about 5 things to think about that will help you minimize the worry and step into courage so that you can show up as your very best self and take action to meet your goals. When we worry, it's really just a form of fear. And when we're operating in a fear mode, we're not showing up as our fullest selves. So if you think about the decisions you make when you're worried about an outcome, and then think about decisions you make from a place of confidence, these are very different places to make decisions from, and the actions we take from these two places can turn out so differently. So let's talk about worry. I find it really fascinating and kind of annoying when people just say, "Don't worry, like everything will be okay, it's fine, don't worry." Like it just sounds so easy and so simple. Like, okay, I just won't worry. Like almost as if like you're taking that worry out with the trash. You take it out and then it's gone, it's done. Okay, I'm not worrying anymore, all done. But really that's not just the case, and that's not how it works. It's not that simple. So why is it so difficult to stop worrying? Well, it's difficult because worry is our brain's way of saying, stop, don't do that, stay here where you're safe. And wherever here is, it's just a familiar place. Even if you're uncomfortable or miserable in that place, it's still familiar and you know what to expect. So your brain wants you to stay there. So you start to worry and talk yourself out of whatever it is you're trying to do. And instead of actually just doing it, you'd worry about it. And our brain's main job is to keep us safe. So the worry is just our brain trying to keep us safe. And the worry will usually pop up, I know for me, when I'm about to do something unfamiliar or you're not exactly sure how it's going to turn out. I cannot tell you how many sleepless nights I spent worrying about if leaving teaching was the right decision for me. It was a lot of nights and a lot of sleep I lost and a lot of worry. And looking back on that now, I see that worry was a complete waste of time and a waste of sleep. So then I tried to think back to any instance where worrying actually did help me. So think about that. Is there any time in your life where you worried about something and that actually helped or helped with the outcome of something? I couldn't think of one time that worrying even helped. But we're human and we worry and it's all good. It's all normal. It's just magnified when we're making big changes and really stepping outside of our comfort zone to find a new path or just to try something new or do something different. So what can we do about it to minimize the worry and leave more space and energy for things that are going to move us forward? And here are 5 things you can do. So number 1 is be okay with failure. Now, I've talked about this quite a bit, but I am 100% perfectionist through and through. Every personality that I take is perfectionist. I like things to be perfect. I like to be perfect. And for me, failure is like my worst fear. But I'm working on this and working through this because I do recognize how valuable failure is. And I put failure in air quotes. I know you can't see me, but I did it in air quotes because really nothing is a failure. Because there's a lesson to pull from every single situation, from every circumstance, for everything that you attempt, there is a lesson to be learned. And if you can truly be okay with failing, there really is nothing to worry about. And so much of the time we spend worrying comes from not wanting to fail or we don't want to let people down. But if we can lean into failure as a good thing, then it flips the script and changes the story because there really is no reason to worry if you're not scared of failing. And we tell our students this all the time, like it's okay to fail, like it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to fail, but are we truly living this and setting the example for our students and for kids about failing? Number 2 is let go of the outcome. So instead of worrying what the outcome will be, we need to get better about focusing on the process. And this relieves some of that worry because you become more focused on the journey and what's happening in between point A and point B. So you let go of that outcome a little bit. So many times we have an outcome in our heads about how things should be or how things should turn out or what we really, really, really want to happen. And things turning out how we think they should or how we want them to. But really, the only thing we have control over are the actions we take and the way we move towards those outcomes. The actual outcome isn't up to us. So if you can completely, or even just a little bit at first, surrender and let go of what you think the outcome of a certain situation should be, you can make decisions and show up more powerfully throughout that journey versus just focusing and worrying about the outcome at the end. Number 3 is be okay being a beginner. Now, being a beginner sucks. I don't like it. I hate it. I hate doing new things, especially when I'm not good at them yet. I like to be good at things and I like to look like I know what I'm doing at least. And then I actually like to know what I'm doing because when we know what we're doing, we feel more confident, right? But this is how we get good at things. We keep doing them until it becomes easy. You have to push through that beginner portion of something and just keep moving forward and keep doing it until it becomes easier and easier. Easy comes with time and easy is absolutely earned. And this is with anything in life. So if you think back on anything that you're good at today, you weren't always good at it. There is literally nothing you are good at now that you didn't have to learn and practice and be a beginner at. Teaching, for example, right? Think back to your first class, or even better, like your first student teaching experience where you had no idea what you were doing. Where your cooperating teacher or your master teacher just threw you out to the wolves to teach that first lesson all on your own. Were you an amazing teacher then? Probably not. Maybe you were. Props to you if you were. Did you have good intentions? Yes, I'm sure you did. Did you keep going? Yes, of course. And did you learn lessons along the way? Yes, you did. And now, if you're like me, you probably look back on those first experiences doing anything and like cringe, right? But you did it, you kept going, and over time with practice and consistency, you got better. And that goes with anything in life. So when we can get comfortable with not being great at something and being a beginner and leaning into not being perfect, the pressure of worrying is lifted a bit and you can just lean into the process. Number 4 is trust yourself and your decisions. Self-trust and confidence is something that absolutely has to be cultivated, because if you completely trust yourself and your decisions without hesitation, there's nothing to worry about because you know you have your own back. Now, self-trust is not necessarily trusting yourself to have all the answers or know all the answers or even believe that you'll always do the right thing. It's just having an awareness and the conviction that you will be kind and respectful to yourself regardless of the outcome. And like I said before, that you have your own back. So how do we cultivate self-trust? Practicing self-compassion, setting goals and showing up for them, being vulnerable, and setting and enforcing boundaries can help grow that self-confidence. This whole self-confidence and self-trust, it could be a whole different episode because self-trust is huge, but the more you trust yourself, the less you need to worry. And number 5, the last thing, I just love this quote, but did you die? You can worry all you want, but the worry isn't going to change the outcome of anything. What will change the outcomes are the actions that you take and how you show up. And for every single situation that you've ever worried about, whether it turned out awful or maybe it turned out just like you anticipated or hoped, either way, did you die? No, you didn't. You came out of whatever the situation was stronger, more capable, and smarter than before, and hopefully a little bit more confident. So to recap, worrying sucks and it takes up precious mental space and energy. So to minimize the worry about any given situation or decision, there are 5 things you can remind yourself of when you begin to get caught up in the worry. Number 1 is be okay with failure. Number 2, let go of the outcome. Number 3, be okay being a beginner. Number 4, trust yourself and your decisions. And number 5, last but not least, did you die? No, you didn't, so keep going. Thank you so much for sticking with me today. I would love to hear what resonates with you today or what you're currently worrying about and what you're going to try out from this episode. I always love to hear from you in my Instagram DMs or through your emails. So feel free to reach out. I cannot wait to hear from you and connect with you. And until next time, I'm not going to say don't worry because I know that takes practice, but worry less and enjoy life a little bit more. I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.